In Whispering Woods, where the trees told stories to the wind, lived a very small bunny named Benny. Benny had fluffy white fur, ears that flopped when he hopped, and a twitchy little nose that wiggled with wonder. More than anything, Benny dreamed of being a hero. He would gaze at his favorite storybook, The Adventures of Sir Hopsalot, and imagine himself in a shiny suit of acorn armor, bravely saving the day. But he was just a little bunny, and he often felt too small for big adventures. He spent his days nibbling on clover and listening to the buzz of bumblebees, wishing for a chance to be brave. One sunny morning, the entire forest was buzzing with excitement. It was the day of the Great Carrot Cake Picnic. Every year, Granny Mole, whose spectacles perched perfectly on her velvety nose, baked the most wonderful carrot cake in the world. It was a magnificent creation, tall and fluffy, with creamy frosting made from the sweetest dewdrops and topped with candied violets. All the animals, from Barnaby the badger to Fiona the field mouse, looked forward to this special day. They gathered their best blankets and polished their berry juice cups, their tummies rumbling with anticipation for a slice of that famous cake. Benny hopped excitedly towards the clearing, his best friend Nina the squirrel scampering beside him. Nina was very shy and would often hide her face behind her big, bushy tail.
Oh, Benny, I can almost taste the frosting. Do you think Granny Mole used extra sweet carrots this year?
The picnic clearing was a beautiful sight. Colorful blankets were spread out like a patchwork quilt, and happy chatter filled the air. Everyone was waiting for the grand moment when the cake would be served. The air was filled with joyful sounds and the sweet smell of wildflowers. Mr. Badger was telling a very long story while the little field mice played tag around a large toadstool. Benny and Nina found a cozy spot under a big oak tree, their eyes fixed on the center of the clearing where the magnificent cake was supposed to be. They imagined the soft, crumbly texture and the delicious, creamy frosting melting in their mouths. Narrator, VO. Just as the excitement reached its peak, a gasp rippled through the crowd.
Narrator, VO. Old Man Badger, who was in charge of guarding the precious dessert, shuffled his feet and looked around in confusion. Ahem, he cleared his throat. It seems the cake is not here. A hush fell over the picnic.
Narrator, VO. Not here? How could that be? Granny Mole confirmed the terrible news. Panic began to bubble among the forest folk. Beatrice the bear pointed a thick claw at Finley the fox. You foxes are always so sneaky. I bet you crept up and gobbled it all down.
Narrator, VO. Finley flattened his ears. It wasn't me, he yelped. I was helping the birds find shiny pebbles.
And narrator, VO. Soon everyone was pointing paws and claws. The picnic was turning into a big, grumpy argument. Narrator, VO. Benny watched with wide, worried eyes. This wasn't right. He saw Granny Mole looking terribly sad. Sir Hopsalot wouldn't just stand by. Sir Hopsalot would do something. Narrator, VO. While everyone bickered, Benny's twitchy nose noticed something. A tiny orange crumb. Then another and another, leading into the tall green ferns.
Narrator, VO. Taking a deep breath, Benny whispered, Nina, I'm going to find the cake. Will you come with me? Nina peeked from behind her tail and gave a small, brave nod.
Narrator, VO. The adventure had begun. Narrator, VO. Following the tiny crumbs, Benny and Nina ventured away from the noisy picnic into the deeper part of the woods. The trees grew closer together, their branches forming a leafy green roof. Narrator, VO. A giant, hollow log lay like a long, dark tunnel. She whispered. Benny remembered Sir Hopsalot. "We can be brave together," he said, and led the way. Narrator, VO. They reached a babbling brook too wide to jump. A bridge of bright red mushrooms stretched across, each cap glistening with morning dew. "Be careful," Benny warned. It wobbled, then they hopscotched across. Nina almost slipped, but Benny steadied her. Narrator, VO. Past a cozy root nook, Finley the fox slept, snoring softly, not a crumb on his whiskers. They tiptoed by. It was clear Finley hadn't taken the cake at all. Narrator, VO. The crumbs led deeper into a place they'd never explored. Flowers were brighter. You smelled of damp earth and sweet moss. With every step, Benny felt less small and more like Sir Hopsalot. Narrator, VO. Finally, the crumb trail ended in a small, sun-dappled clearing. Narrator, VO. There, huddled in a pile of leaves, were 3 tiny baby raccoons, and right in the middle was Granny Mole's carrot cake. It was a little squashed and had a few paw prints, but it was mostly whole. Narrator, VO. They looked up with big, teary eyes. They weren't mean thieves, they were just lost and very, very hungry. The smallest hiccuped, a tiny crumb still on its nose. Instead of being angry, Benny felt a wave of kindness. He remembered how scary it was to feel small and lost. "Hello," he said softly. "Did you take this cake because you were hungry?" The baby raccoons nodded sadly. "We didn't mean to," sniffled the biggest one. "We just wanted to go home." Benny looked at Nina and she nodded. "Don't worry," Benny said, his voice full of warmth. "We can help you. We'll take you and the cake back to the picnic." With the baby raccoons following closely, Benny and Nina carefully carried the cake back through the woods. The other animals stopped arguing and stared in amazement. Benny stood tall and explained everything. "It wasn't Finley the fox or anyone else," he announced bravely. "It was these little ones. They were lost and hungry, and they made a mistake." The forest animals' grumpy feelings melted away. Granny Mole gave each baby raccoon a gentle hug and promised to help them find their mother. She turned to Benny. "Oh, Benny," she said, her eyes twinkling. "You are a true hero. Bravery isn't about being big and strong, it's about having a big, kind heart." To celebrate, she baked an even bigger carrot cake. As the sun set, the forest celebrated not just the picnic, but their brave little hero, Benny.